Hi. Okay, then let's have a look at your assignment for Sociology 2. This comes in two parts. The first part is only worth 5%, and it's just a reflection. So if you read through this carefully, just need you to reflect just on your understanding of what you think in the situation in the world is regarding issues, things like education, health, food, healthy food access, medical care, risk of disease, or gender inequality, housing. These are issues that are going to be most important in this particular assignment. So we're going to revisit it both in the first section and the second section. So when you do your reflection, think in regards to your view of the world in regards to those particular issues. Touch on each one. There's no research, no books that are required. Just think about it. Maybe, your life experience has been in Canada. Maybe your life experience has been elsewhere, so you have some comparators. Feel free to just to say the things you want. Only need about 2 pages in your own words. There's no research and no quotes needed. Okay? So make sure you save your document as a PDF. There's a video in support videos called How to Make a PDF, and it will work for both PCs and Mac. So that's what gets posted in week 5. February 19th is when this is due, no later than 5 p.m. posted in your journal. Now I know that may not, how do I do that? Well, make sure you watch the Blackboard overview for this course, and I walk through how to do all the things you're expected to do in this course. Okay, so that's a part 1 of the assignment. The next page is really just a helpful way of giving you some insights as to what you're supposed to do. So it's a bit of an overview of what you're to do on that next page. Now, part 2, this one takes a little bit more time, but it's also very interesting. Now, you're going to have a website to go to do your work, and it's called Gapminders. Here's a bit of a section on it. Okay, here we are at the Gapminders site. Now, this is where you're going to get your data from. Now, feel free to spend a little time at this site. You'll find that I've mentioned a few times in a few of the comments that I've made throughout the videos in the beginning of the semester here is around how we have to update our files. And Gapminder is renowned for doing things around how are we doing. So you can deal with each of these sorts of issues and see how well you seem to know where the world is at this point. It's around misconceptions, and this website is very good that way. But what I want you to do for this assignment, there's 2 places to go. If you scroll down, that's Ola Rosling. That's Hans Rosling's son. He's now the CEO, the president and co-founder of Gapminder. His dad, Hans, he passed away 3 years ago. His son, he's taking over, and his daughter, she works at doing, here's the 2 areas I want you to be, on the Dollar Street. But I want you to start here, animating data. So just click on Understanding and Changing World. Now what he's done, what Gapminder has done, is created all the data that you might find at a statistics, with all this comprehensive data and statistics from countries. You can come over here and look at the number of countries that have data coming. There's something in the neighborhood of over 107, I believe, or 170. At any rate, what this does, we'll just do this as an example. We have life expectancy on this axis, 20 years old, 30 years old, 40, 50, 60, 70, and so on, and income. So if we play this, you can see over time from 1800 moving forward how the countries have done with income versus life expectancy, and the trend that you will likely see as they get going here. Now, as we approach 1918, watch how a lot of these bubbles are going to dump down. That little dump is the Spanish flu. So you can imagine there will be a dump in this year when it has a huge number of losses. But you see how everyone's getting more life expectancy and getting richer in the world today. But what I need you to do is you just need to select 3 different countries. Over here, just pick 3. So let's say we want to pick, I want them out of 3 different incomes. So you see across the top, income 1, 2, 3, and 4. pick 3 countries that are in each of a different level. So we'll pick Bahamas, Brunei, yeah, okay, and I think Canada fits in the level 4. So there's 3 there, right there. If you do this deselect and slide it over, the other countries will disappear. If we do life expectancy and income again, now we can just watch the 2 or the 3 countries over time, how things start to make a difference. And not all of these that you do, depending upon which countries you select, and I'll show you in a minute how you change some of these variables on the X or Y axis. But you start to get a trail that shows how things improved or got worse in countries of different income levels. Okay, so let's say this is what you wanted to do. Now, if you wanted to change from life expectancy to something else, these arrows on both the axes open up, and you can pick something like education, and we'll say literacy, and the literacy for adult females. See, now it changes over here. Now, some of your countries won't still say, because maybe they haven't received the data on those particular things, so your countries may change. Don't worry. All I'm asking you to do is to get 3 different income levels, get countries that are likely in the same area of the world. It's not a precision-based assignment on the countries. It's really about income levels. So what I want you to do is you're going to be collecting combinations based on the listings that I had in the assignment of income, education, health, medical disability and nutrition, life expectancy, housing, and gender equality. And you can choose whichever ones you want. So when you've selected the ones you want and you've gotten your X and Y axes and you get your bubbles, you come way up here to this middle bubble. When you click it, you're going to get a link. Now, I've asked you to put your links into a document, and this is the link I'm talking about. So you just grab that, you copy it, and you put it in your document. So I can click on that link, and it'll bring me directly to this image that you've created. Okay? So the other one we're going to do, now in addition, so you've picked your countries. Let's scroll right down again. We get to the Dollar Street. Now, what they've tried to do in the Dollar Street is they've gone around to different countries of different income. There's the poorest all the way up to the richest. And wherever you've put, you're selecting, you'll get families that fit within that particular genre of space. So we can bring this down. So we're going to see families just in this grouping here. Now, the other way to do this is to come up to the world and pick your countries. Or pick your country. You can do one country at a time in this. And then in families, maybe you're interested in their homes, maybe their kitchens, maybe their toilets, maybe what they wish they could buy. So here are all the topics. Now, they won't apply to all families, but it will give you a way of comparing families to families in different income areas and how do they compare. When you talk about a washroom, that's it's a very popular, these are the popular selections, but when you select toilets and you compare between incomes, you start to see how the differences or what the differences are with bathrooms or kitchens, and you'll find that there are differences, but you will also be surprised by the amount of similarities. So that's Gapminder essentially. Now, you just have to play around with it a little bit, read the instructions well, and I'm going to make sure you pay attention to the video that I've made on the overall assignment, okay? So that's all I'm going to show you in this particular one. What you saw there is basically the 2 areas of Gapminder that I want you to use. The animating data, this is the use of bubbles, and the bubbles are representative of data. So the bigger the bubble, the more people or the more income or the more of whatever is being represented there. The smaller the bubble, the less of it. The colors are related to geographic regions, and it's very useful. So what I want you to do is On the level of access that I showed where it had life expectancy, and I changed it to things like education or things like that, that's the area where you need to do income, education, health, life expectancy, housing, and gender equality. So that altogether is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 areas. So you're going to have 6 bubble, if you will. And where I showed you to go up and get the URL, there should be 6 of those in your Part 2 document. And then the rest of what goes into that document is to go to the Dollar Street, find families in those same income areas and geographically in similar areas, because you could see where sometimes it wasn't possible to select a country. Either they didn't have pictures or they didn't have the data for that particular area that you focused on. And I want you to grab 4 pictures per family. So you're going to have 4 pictures for each of those 6 groupings. And that's essentially your assignment. You're going to be writing about your experience. So you're going to create a document that will have your income levels identified, the countries identified, your visualizations, and the graphics, the pictures from Dollar Street, all put together into one document, saved as a PDF and posted in the due date, which in this case is April 1. That's week 10, and no, it's not a April Fool's joke. I'm fine with that. So the last thing that you do is that you put the whole paper together. You bring your first reflection, you attach it to the second part, and now you reflect on overall what you learned in this assignment. So there's 2 sort of reflections, one at the front end and one at the back end. And be as thorough and complete as you can. And I really hope you enjoy this assignment. I've always enjoyed the results that people get because, of course, not everyone in the class comes from the same country. So it's nice to see the different variations about how people view and their experiences in the world. And it would be useful if we could be in class, because we could share this with one another, and it would be also a very interesting exercise. So I hope you find this useful and helpful. Please read the document carefully for the assignment. Then watch this video, which if you're listening to this part, you've already done so. Before asking me questions for clarification, please do those 2 things first, and then that way I can be of better help to you if you ask me questions. All right, I hope that's been helpful. I look forward to this semester with you, and I hope you're looking forward to the semester as well. So good luck and be safe. Bye now.